Metaphor ReFantazio is releasing on October 11th, an upcoming RPG and new IP developed by the creators that brought you Shin Megami Tensei III Nocturne and Persona 3 to 5. You may be wondering what's it about and is it worth the purchase? Well, you've come to the right video, as this is another everything you need to know before you buy, where I gather all the news and trailers from an upcoming game, showcasing the story, the gameplay, and formulate an opinion on whether you should buy this game, giving you some guidance and knowledge. So here's everything you need to know before you buy Metaphor ReFantazio. In December 2016, ATLUS announced a new game titled Project ReFantazio, developed by a new subsidiary studio called Studio Zero. Led by Katsura Hashino, director and producer of many ATLUS's titles including the Persona and Shin Megami Tensei series, as well as other well-known individuals in ATLUS, for example, composer Shoji Meguro and artist Shigenori Soejima. Project ReFantazio is said to be a return to a true fantasy world, a theme that was popular during the rise of the Japanese game industry. Concept art and videos were shown after the announcement and later in 2017. Also, they worked on Catherine Fullbody, which was released in February 2019. In 2021, Project ReFantazio was said to be progressing little by little, and no big announcements or updates were made after, until the 11th of June 2023. ATLUS released a trailer for Project ReFantazio, now named as Metaphor ReFantazio, a fantasy RPG set for release on 8th and 9th gen PlayStation and Xbox consoles, as well as PC. The story takes place in the United Kingdom of Ukraine. An assassination of the king has brought discord across the land. Suddenly, a royal magic only known to the king is invoked, and the world becomes involved in a tournament for the throne. Our protagonist of the story, who's unnamed, has already embarked on a journey alongside his companion, the fairy Gallica. The two are finding the culprit and a way to break a curse that has been placed on the prince, a childhood friend of the protagonist that the kingdom believes to be dead. In order to achieve their goal, they participate in the tournament. However, only the number one ranked in popularity will take the throne, and so our protagonist must gather the people's support, allying with friends and followers from various tribes across the world to rise through the competition. In the world of Metaphor ReFantazio, there are 8 tribes. The Kalmar tribe are the most populous tribe. Distinguished by the pair of horns on their head, they are the race of the Ukrainian royal family, making them one of the central tribes of the kingdom. The second most populous tribe in the kingdom are the Ruzan tribe. They have long protruding ears, as well as possessing an excellent physique and physical ability, making them perfect for military personnel and other important positions. The Ujif tribe are a unique race. They have small statures, bat-like ears and wings, are sensitive to sound, and have night vision. Due to their appearance and small population, the Ujif tribe face discrimination from the other tribes, making them one of the lowest on the social hierarchy. The Parapus tribe has ears and tails like those of a beast. They possess strong physical abilities, but in a completely different way compared to the Ruzan tribe. Many of them have a decadent nature, enjoying lively surroundings and a lack of concern for the small details. However, this nature can cause problems when facing difficult situations. The Nadir tribe are known for their beautiful jewel-like eyes, a sociable tribe that are said to excel at understanding people's hearts, and because of this, it's difficult for them to travel safely outside the city. They are a rare race, and it's common for them to leave their hometown to make a living on their own. The Rogue tribe are known for their longevity, living more than twice the average lifespan of the other tribes. Because of their longevity, they have monopolized their high status, although they have created a culture that placed great value on passing on knowledge and will. The Ishkia tribe are considered the most intelligent tribe. Despite their low population, they hold many positions as clergies and scholars. They have graceful wings that attracts admiration, however they look down on others and so the same hatred is directed back at them. The Mustari tribe are a race that has a third eye on their forehead. They are rarely seen in the city since majority of them live in an archipelago region south of the kingdom, and because of this they wear unique headgear and traditional clothing. They are said to have heightened senses compared to the other tribes, and their third eye can see a particle called Magla, which I'll go into later. Those are the 8 tribes in Metaphor ReFantazio. However, there is one more tribe that exists, the Elder tribe. This is the protagonist tribe, a race whose existence itself is extremely rare. They are branded by Sanctism, the state religion, as a tainted race. Just showing their faces make people uncomfortable, and they are subject to prejudice. Next, let's go through a few playable characters from these tribes that joins the protagonist on his journey. First, we have Grias from the Rogue tribe. At the beginning of the story, the protagonist is assigned on a mission to send a message to an ally, which ends up being Grias. He is a master of both martial arts and magic, and even once tried to master Archetypes, which I'll go later in the gameplay. Next, we have Hulkenberg, a Ruzan knight of the Holy Order who once served as the prince's guard. Unfortunately, she failed to protect him during the assassination, and so she stepped away from the royal capital, looking for the truth behind it. After hearing the king's death, she returns back to the royal capital, meeting the protagonist. Lastly, there's Stroll, a young nobleman of the Kalmar tribe who meets the protagonist at a recruitment center in the royal capital. He has a complicated circumstance as it's rare for a noble to enlist in the army, and also he has a deep hatred towards humans, the monsters in the world of metaphor ReFantazio. If you recalled earlier, I said that the Mystari tribe can see a particle called Magla. Magla is created by people's feelings of anxiety and are found in the atmosphere. They are considered the source of magic in the world and are gathered as a source of funding in the kingdom. It is said that the inhabitants of Ukrainia are unable to use magic naturally, so they have to use a special tool called igniters. In recent years, the amount of Magla has increased, and because of it, monsters have risen to wreak havoc amongst the land. And there's one important type of monster involved in the story called humans. Based on the works of medieval artist Hieronymus Bosch, humans serve as the boss type of enemies in the game, as well as one of the main concerns in the world of metaphor ReFantazio. Not a lot is said about them, but most likely they're a major plot point in the story. Like many ATLUS RPGs, metaphor ReFantazio is a turn-based RPG. However, what differentiates itself from previous titles is the real-time attacks and dodging elements outside of combat. While exploring on the field, your companion Gallica can scan the area revealing the levels of any nearby monsters. Using a mechanic called Fast and Squad, if there are any monsters that are lower level than you, highlighted as blue, you can quickly kill them using fast attacks. Higher leveled monsters are highlighted yellow and red. They can't be killed by the fast mechanic, however you can use fast attacks to stun them and then go into the squad command, initiating combat with an advantage. The combat in metaphor ReFantazio has adopted the press turn system that was first introduced in Shin Megami Tensei III Nocturne. For those unfamiliar with the press turn system, it allows you to do multiple actions in a turn. As you begin combat, the number of actions in a turn depends on the number of party members in your starting lineup. Exploring the enemy's weakness or landing a critical hit will grant you an additional action. However, the same rules apply on the enemy's turn, giving themselves extra actions by exploiting your weakness. In addition, there's a system that can be used in combat called Archetypes. At certain points in the story, the protagonist and his friends will face their own fears and anxiety to awaken their archetypes. Designed by Soejima and Yuji Himukai, known for his character designs in the Etrian Odyssey series, Archetype serves the same function as a job or class system in other RPGs, providing a selection of abilities and personality. Some archetypes works well whether they're in the front or back row of your team's formation. For example, the Mage archetype can exploit enemies' weakness from the back row to compensate for his low defense, while the Brawler archetype specializes in physical attacks, wanting to fight up close in the front row. There's also a special technique called Synthesis, which allows you to combine your archetype with your party members' archetypes. This takes up a specific amount of actions depending on how many archetypes are being used, and if everyone is using the same archetype, you can perform a unique Synthesis attack, delivering an absurd amount of damage. There are 14 basic archetypes, and each of these have a lineage that can be upgraded and evolve into a higher tier archetype, giving you access to more powerful skills. Including both basic and higher tier archetypes, there will be over 40 archetypes available in the game. In order to unlock the higher tier archetypes, it will require you to use the previous archetype in combat, as well as strengthening bonds with your supporting followers. Bonds are an important mechanic in the game. There'll be many individuals that you'll meet throughout your journey with various kinds of problems. By listening and helping them, they will become strong supporters of the protagonist and establish a bond with them. Establishing bonds will unlock new archetypes and sometimes special privileges. For example, one follower named Brigitte, who owns an igniter shop at the royal capital, recognizes that the protagonist is from the Elder tribe and decides to test his strength through a quest. Completing said quest will gain her trust, unlocking the merchant archetype and access to her shop. Also, characters like Stroll and Hulkenberg are your supporters and have bonds that you can strengthen. Next, let's talk about the Gauntlet Runner, our main mode of transportation in the game. Designed by Ikuto Yamashita, known for being the mecha designer for Neon Genesis Evangelion, Gauntlet Runners are large, armored vehicles powered by magic that can safely traverse through the wilderness. They serve as a mobile base, and the protagonist acquires one to travel around the country after meeting with Neurus, a pilot from the Ishkia tribe who was once a former Gauntlet Runner designer for the royal family. Metaphor ReFantazio has a calendar system, and traveling to one place will take a certain amount of days depending on the location. While on the road, you can do various activities in the Gauntlet Runner, like for example, cooking in the kitchen, doing the laundry, and interacting with your allies. Some activities may level up your virtues, which are basically like social stats in the Persona series, traits that the protagonist can use in certain situations depending on the level. There's still a lot of things I haven't touched on, but I don't want to drag this video too long. Before we get to the next section, I want to talk about the Metaphor Daily Journal, which are daily videos released by ATLUS providing information about the world of Metaphor ReFantazio. You can check that out on the channel ATLUstube, however, these videos are in Japanese. Fortunately, there is a YouTuber named Buffmaister who has been releasing these videos with English subtitles, so go check that channel out if you want more information about the game. Which brings us to the question, should you buy Metaphor ReFantazio? But before that, be sure to like, comment down your thoughts on the game, and subscribe. Your support will be greatly appreciated. Obviously, if you're a big fan of Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, or any of ATLUS's RPGs, Metaphor ReFantazio is definitely a day one purchase if you have the money. In my opinion, this game is one of the most anticipated RPG that is coming out this year, and should be on your radar if you're a fan of the genre. Recently, a Spanish website called Vandal interviewed Hashno inquiring about the length of Metaphor ReFantazio. He confirms that the game will be as long as Persona 5, as well as extra content after completing the game. Also, a demo of Metaphor ReFantazio was recently released that you could check out for yourself, with the ability to carry over your save when the full game comes out. Lastly, I trust that Studio Zero will deliver an amazing game focusing on the experience of a fantasy journey. Of course, that's expected with all the big names working on this game. You can tell from the UI and the music, for example, that Metaphor ReFantazio is in good hands, and I can't wait to play it myself. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Most likely, this is going to be the last everything you need to know video for this year, as I want to focus on video essays like I've previously done on this channel, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see them. Anyways, that's it for me, and as always, I'll see you next time and catch you guys later. Take care.